Dr. Jaiwo Kim walked quickly through the busy streets of Mars Colony, checking her watch. She was almost late for her appointment at Stellar Transformations, the most famous beauty salon in the colony. After working 15 hours straight in her laboratory, she needed this treatment. The salon doors slid open automatically as she approached. Cool air washed over her, carrying the scent of expensive products. The waiting area gleamed with polished surfaces and soft lighting. Dr. Kim? A tall man with perfect hair approached. I'm Taeyoung Park, the owner. We've been expecting you. Jaiwoo smiled politely. Thank you for fitting me in. My work schedule is impossible lately. For the colony's leading xenobiologist, we make exceptions, Taeyoung said, leading her past other customers. Your research on Europa's microorganisms is groundbreaking. In fact, it inspired our newest treatment. Jaiwo raised her eyebrows. Really? How so? Our signature bioadaptive treatment uses compounds similar to those you discovered, Taeyoung explained. Perfectly safe, of course. Modified for beauty applications. He gestured toward a floating chair that looked more like a piece of art than furniture. Please, make yourself comfortable. Jaiwo sat down, feeling the chair adjust perfectly to her body. A young assistant approached with a tablet. Any allergies we should know about? The assistant asked. None, Jaiwo replied. Excellent, Taeyoung said. The treatment takes about an hour. Many customers find it so relaxing they fall asleep. The assistant applied a cool gel to Jaiwo's scalp. It tingled slightly as it spread through her hair. That feels strange, Jaiwo commented. Completely normal, Taeyoung assured her. The compounds are mapping your cellular structure. Blue lights dimmed around her chair as soft music played. Despite her scientific curiosity, Jaiwo found herself growing drowsy. The gentle tingles across her scalp became rhythmic, almost hypnotic. Just relax, Taeyoung's voice seemed to come from far away. When you wake up, you'll be transformed. Jaiwo drifted to sleep wondering what exactly he meant by transformed. She woke in her apartment the next morning feeling unusually refreshed. The alarm showed she had slept for 10 hours straight, something she hadn't done in years. Her pillow felt oddly smooth against her head as she sat up. Jaiwo walked to her bathroom, rubbing sleep from her eyes. She splashed water on her face and reached for her hairbrush. That's when she saw her reflection. The brush clattered to the floor. Her hand trembled as she touched her head. Where thick black hair should have been, there was nothing. Her scalp was completely bald, smooth and slightly iridescent under the bathroom lights. No, 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 she whispered, running her hands over her head again and again. Not a single hair remained. Not even the suggestion of stubble. Her scalp felt unnaturally smooth, almost polished. Jaiwo grabbed her phone and called the salon. After 5 rings, Taeyoung answered. Stellar Transformations, how may? What did you do to me? Jaiwo demanded, her voice shaking. Dr. Kim? Taeyoung sounded concerned. Is something wrong? I'm completely bald. Every hair on my head is gone. Oh, he paused. That's an occasional temporary side effect. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about? Jaiwo practically shouted. You didn't warn me this might happen. Please calm down, Dr. Kim. Your hair will return, better than before. The treatment is rebuilding your follicles from the cellular level. It's all part of the transformation. I'm coming in now, she said firmly. We open in 2 hours, Taeyoung replied smoothly. I'll make time for you personally. 2 hours later, Jaiwo stormed into the salon wearing a scarf around her head. Several customers stared as she marched up to Taeyoung. My private office, please, he said, gesturing toward a back hallway. Once the door closed behind them, Jaiwo unwrapped the scarf. Explain this. Taeyoung examined her scalp without touching it. Fascinating response. Your scalp has taken to the treatment exceptionally well. This is not what I paid for. Dr. Kim, as a scientist, surely you understand that advanced treatments sometimes have unexpected outcomes. He smiled. The compounds are integrating with your system. In a few days, you'll notice significant improvements in overall health, and your hair will return stronger than ever. Something in his too confident smile made Jaiwa suspicious. She narrowed her eyes. I want the exact formula you used on me. That's proprietary, I'm afraid. As they argued, Jaiwa noticed something odd on his desk, a document with Helix Corporation's logo. She recognized it immediately. Helix was the largest biotech company on Mars, known for classified military contracts. Are you partnered with Helix? She asked suddenly. Taeyeon quickly covered the document. We source some materials through them. Now about your situation. I want a complete refund, Jaiwo said, rewrapping her scarf. Of course, he agreed too easily. And complimentary follow-up treatments. No thanks, Jaiwo replied coldly. I'll never set foot in here again. That night, Jaiwo secretly took samples from her scalp for analysis. Under her microscope, she discovered something that made her blood run cold. Microscopic organisms unlike anything in the colony's databases were attaching themselves to her cells. Whatever stellar transformations had done to her wasn't cosmetic. It was something else entirely. Jaiwo stared at her microscope screen in disbelief. The organisms attaching to her scalp cells weren't like anything she had studied before. They weren't attacking her cells, they seemed to be integrating with them, creating new structures. This can't be from any Earth species, she muttered, adjusting the magnification. She worked through the night, running tests and comparing the organisms to known samples. By morning, dark circles shadowed her eyes, but she had confirmed her suspicion. These microorganisms shared characteristics with samples from Europa, Jupiter's moon. But they had been modified. Her lab door slid open, and her colleague Hyunwoo Lee entered with 2 cups of coffee. You look terrible, he said, placing a cup beside her. And why are you wearing that hat indoors? Jaiwo hesitated, then removed her hat. Hyunwoo's eyes widened. What happened to your hair? Beauty salon disaster, she said. But it's much worse than a bad haircut. She showed him the microscope images. Hyunwoo's expression grew serious as he examined them. These are bioengineered, he said finally. Someone made these specifically to bond with human cells. The Salon called it a bioadaptive treatment, Jaiwoo explained. And they're connected to Helix Corporation somehow. Hyunwoo looked alarmed. Helix has government contracts for biodefense. If they're involved. Jaiwoo's phone chimed. An unknown number had sent a message, are you also affected? Meeting at Central Park, Bench 17, today at 4 p.m. Wear a hat. Someone else from the salon, Jaiwoo guessed. I need to go. Not alone, Hyunwoo insisted. This is too strange. That afternoon, they arrived at Central Park. The artificial environment in the dome provided Earth-like conditions, trees, grass, and a small lake. 3 people sat at bench 17, all wearing hats. Jaiwoo approached cautiously. I got your message. A woman stood up. I'm Myung Choi. I fly transport ships. She removed her hat, revealing a smooth, bald head. This happened after my treatment at Stellar Transformations 3 days ago. The others introduced themselves. Do Hyun Kong was an engineer who maintained the colony's oxygen systems. Jisoo Bae taught at the colony's main school. Both were completely bald. I've discovered something concerning, Jaiwoo said. She explained about the organisms. Are they dangerous? Jisoo asked, touching her scalp nervously. I don't think they're meant to harm us, Jaiwoo replied. But we need to know what they're designed to do. Do Hyun shifted uncomfortably. My cousin works at Helix Corporation. He mentioned a project involving Europa samples months ago, but wouldn't say more. Can you contact him? Hyunwoo asked. He disappeared 2 weeks ago, Do Hyun said quietly. His apartment was empty when I checked. No one knows where he went. A chill ran through the group. We need access to Helix's research, Myung said. and I might know how to get it. The next day, they gathered at Jaiwo's lab. Mayang had brought security clearance cards. I transport equipment for Helix sometimes, she explained. These will get us into the loading area. It's risky, Hyunwoo warned. We need answers, Jaiwo said, touching her smooth head. Whatever they've done to us, we deserve to know. That night, Jaiwo received a strange call. The screen showed only static, but she could hear breathing. Dr. Kim, a distorted voice said. Stop your investigation. For your own safety. Who is this? She demanded. Someone who knows what's happening to you, the voice replied. Not everyone at Helix agrees with Project Ascendance. What is Project Ascendance? Check your email in 1 hour. Tell no one where you got this. The call ended. Exactly 1 hour later, Jaiwoo received an encrypted file. The contents made her gasp. Project Ascendance was a classified program using modified Europa organisms to enhance human capabilities. The baldness was just the first visible sign. The organisms were designed to create a biological network between hosts, enhancing neural connectivity. The document mentioned preparation for contact several times, but didn't explain contact with what. Jaiwo called the group immediately. When they arrived, she noticed something strange. Faint patterns were visible on Mayang's scalp, almost like circuitry. Have you looked at your scalp under ultraviolet light? Jaiwo asked. She switched on a UV lamp. All their scalps glowed with intricate, matching patterns. The organisms are creating these pathways, she explained, pointing to diagrams in the document. They're building something in us. But why? Jisoo asked. Why make us bald first? Efficiency, Hyunwoo said, studying the patterns. Hair would interfere with whatever signal these patterns conduct. Suddenly, security alerts flashed across Jaiwo's screens. Someone was accessing her lab's systems remotely. They know we have the files, she said. We need to move. As they gathered their evidence, Do-hyun looked out the window. We have company. A Helix Corporation vehicle had pulled up outside. Men in dark uniforms approached the building. There's a back exit, Jaiwo said. Quick! They escaped just as the men entered the front door. As they hurried through darkened streets, Jaiwo realized this was bigger than a beauty treatment gone wrong. Whatever was happening to them was deliberate, and someone powerful wanted to keep it secret. Jaiwo sat alone in the safe house, a small abandoned storage unit Do-hyun had converted years ago for emergency use. 2 weeks had passed since they fled her lab. The group had split up, moving between locations, using only secure communication. She stared at her reflection in a small mirror. The patterns on her scalp had become more pronounced, faintly visible even without ultraviolet light. They resembled delicate circuit boards, etched in slightly raised lines that glowed with a subtle blue luminescence in darkness. But that wasn't the only change. This morning, she had cut her hand on a broken glass. The wound had closed completely within 3 hours. Her phone buzzed with an encrypted message from Mayang. Something weird is happening. Meet at Location B. Location B was an old maintenance tunnel beneath the colony's agricultural sector. When Jaiwo arrived, she found the others already waiting. Their faces showed a mixture of fear and wonder. Watch this, Mayang said. She held up her hand, where a deep cut was visibly healing as they watched. The edges of the wound pulled together smoothly, leaving only a faint pink line. Mine does the same, Jaiwo confirmed. It's not just healing, Do-hyun added. I can see better in the dark. And yesterday, I heard a conversation through a wall that should have blocked all sound. Jisoo nodded. My sense of smell is sharper too. I can identify chemicals in the air just by their scent now. Hyunwoo had been studying the Project Ascendance files. According to this, the organisms are enhancing our cellular structures. Improving efficiency, strengthening connections. But there's something else, Mayang said hesitantly. Something they don't mention in the files. She moved closer to Do-hyun. As they stood side by side, the patterns on their scalps brightened noticeably. They respond to proximity, Jaiwoo realized, moving closer to them. Her own patterns brightened, and she felt a strange sensation like a buzzing energy passing between them. "I've been experimenting," Jisoo said. She took Do-hyeon's hand and closed her eyes. "Think of a number." Do-hyeon looked surprised but nodded. Jisoo concentrated, her brow furrowing. 17, she said finally. Do-hyeon's jaw dropped. "How did you?" "It's getting stronger," Jisoo explained. "At first, I could only sense strong emotions when we were together. Now I can pick up clear thoughts if I focus. The patterns are creating a network," Hyunwoo theorized. "Not just within each of us, but between us." Jaiwoo remembered something from the project files. It mentioned preparation for contact. What if these modifications aren't just enhancements? What if they're communication tools? That night, sleeping in the safe house, Jaiwoo woke suddenly. She had dreamed of Myeong calling for help, it had felt so real. Her heart racing, she checked her phone. No messages. On impulse, she focused her thoughts on Myeong, visualizing her clearly, trying to send a message, "Are you safe?" Almost immediately, she felt a response, not words exactly, but a sense of Myeong's presence, along with feelings of safety and confusion. In the morning, Myeong called. "Did you try to contact me last night?" "You felt it?" Jaiwoo asked, amazed. "It woke me up," Myeong confirmed. "This is getting serious, Jaiwoo." They met again that evening, bringing new observations. The patterns now covered their entire scalps and had begun extending down their necks. Their enhanced abilities continued to develop faster reflexes, improved memory, heightened senses. "I think we should try something," Jaiwoo suggested. "If we can communicate mentally in pairs, what happens if all 5 of us connect at once?" They sat in a circle, holding hands. The patterns on their scalps glowed brightly, pulsing in unison. At first, Jaiwoo felt only the individual presences of her friends. Then, gradually, something new emerged, a shared consciousness, thoughts and sensations flowing freely between them. It was overwhelming but exhilarating. And then, something unexpected, a signal, faint but distinct, coming from somewhere beyond their circle. It felt vast and alien, mathematical patterns that weren't human in origin. They broke the circle, gasping. "Did you feel that?" Do-hyeon whispered. They all nodded, too stunned to speak. "Something's out there," Jaiwoo said finally. "Something trying to reach us." Project Ascendance, Hyunwoo realized. It's not just about enhancing humans. It's about making us compatible with something else. That night, Jaiwoo examined the patterns on her body. They had spread further, creating an intricate network across her upper back and shoulders. She didn't feel scared anymore. Whatever was happening to them felt right somehow, like a natural evolution. Her phone chimed with a news alert: unusual atmospheric phenomena reported above Mars colony. Scientists baffled by light patterns. Attached was a grainy image that made Jaiwoo freeze. The lights in the sky formed patterns identical to those on their scalps. Whatever had changed them was coming closer. And Helix Corporation had known all along. Jaiwoo and Hyunwoo approached the Helix Corporation building under cover of night. The massive structure dominated the eastern dome of Mars colony, its windows glowing faintly against the dark landscape. Security drones patrolled the perimeter, their sensors sweeping methodically across the grounds. "Are you sure about this?" Hyunwoo whispered, clutching the security card Myeong had provided. Jaiwoo nodded, pulling her cap lower over her glowing scalp. "We need to know what they're hiding. The light patterns in the sky match our scalp patterns exactly. That can't be coincidence." They waited for a gap in the drone patrol, then moved quickly to a side entrance. Myeong's card worked, granting them access to a service corridor. "The research lab should be on the 4th floor," Jaiwoo said, consulting the building layout they had memorized. As they moved through the dimly lit corridors, Jaiwoo noticed something strange. The security system seemed to react to their presence, but then reset, as if confused. Cameras turned toward them but didn't trigger alarms. Door locks clicked open just before they reached them. It's like the building is letting us in, Hyunwoo said, voicing Jaiwoo's thoughts. Our patterns, she realized. They must be interfering with the security systems somehow. They reached the 4th floor without encountering any personnel. The research wing stretched before them, a long corridor lined with laboratory doors. One was marked Project Ascendance, authorized personnel only. That's it, Jaiwoo said, placing Myon's card against the scanner. The door remained locked. Hyunwoo tried his own clearance card with no success. Jaiwoo stared at the lock, frustrated. Then, acting on instinct, she removed her cap and pressed her palm against the scanner, allowing her glowing scalp patterns to fully show. The lock clicked open. Inside, they found a large laboratory filled with advanced equipment. Specimen containers lined one wall, each holding small samples of what appeared to be the same organisms they had found on their scalps. Look at this, Hyunwoo called, pointing to a large display screen showing a timeline labeled First Contact Initiative. Jaiwoo scanned the information rapidly. They've known for 3 years, she whispered. Earth received signals from an advanced civilization near Alpha Centauri. Instead of announcing it publicly, they kept it secret and began preparing. Preparing how? By modifying humans, Jaiwoo said, gesturing to their own bodies. The aliens communicated that their biology is fundamentally different from ours. Direct contact would be impossible without adaptation. Hyunwoo opened a file labeled Integration Protocol. The beauty salon, he read aloud. They're using commercial services to gradually introduce the modified organisms. The subjects never know they're part of an experiment. How many people have they changed? Jaiwoo wondered. Over 200 in Mars colony alone, came a voice from behind them. They spun around to find Juno Park, Helix's security director, standing in the doorway. Unlike what they expected, he wasn't pointing a weapon. He looked resigned. You weren't supposed to discover this so quickly, he said. The changes were meant to be gradual, controlled. You had no right, Jaiwoo said angrily. You're experimenting on people without consent. Juno shrugged. Government authorization. After first contact, we had 2 choices: prepare humanity slowly or risk mass panic. The Salon treatment was designed to introduce the organisms to suitable candidates quietly. And the baldness? Hyunwoo asked. An unexpected side effect, Juno admitted. We couldn't eliminate it without compromising the organism's effectiveness. So we disguised it as a beauty treatment with temporary hair loss. What do these aliens want? Jaiwoo demanded. Juno walked to a computer terminal and brought up an image of space. They're coming. Their ship entered our solar system last month. They requested that we prepare representatives who could communicate with them directly. The screen showed a vessel approaching Mars, enormous and unlike any human design. You're using us as translators? Jaiwoo asked incredulously. More than that, Juno corrected. The neural network forming between modified humans creates a collective consciousness compatible with their hive mind. You're becoming the bridge between our species. So the light patterns in the sky. Their attempt to synchronize with the network U5 accidentally activated, Juno confirmed. You weren't supposed to connect so quickly or so completely. It's drawn their attention specifically to your group. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the building. Juno checked his communication device and paled. They've changed course, he said. They're heading directly for Mars colony, specifically this location. They'll be here within hours. Why? Hyunwoo asked. Because of U5, Juno said. You formed a complete network node. You're broadcasting to them, whether you realize it or not. Jaiwoo felt a chill. What happens when they arrive? That depends, Juno said grimly. Your group has accelerated everything. The government planned a carefully managed first contact. Now, we're facing an uncontrolled scenario. He pressed a button on his device. I've just alerted my superiors. They'll want to secure you and your friends before the ship arrives. You mean capture us, Jaiwoo said coldly. Juno didn't deny it. You need to understand what's at stake here. This is bigger than a few unauthorized modifications. Jaiwoo and Hyunwoo exchanged glances. They needed to warn the others. Jaiwoo and Hyunwoo raced through the dimly lit streets of Mars Colony. The emergency sirens had begun to wail, and the artificial sky projection in the dome now showed the approaching alien vessel, a massive structure that glowed with the same patterns as their scalps. We need to reach the others, Jaiwoo said, feeling her connection to Myung, Do-hyun, and Jisoo growing stronger with each passing minute. She focused her thoughts, sending a mental message: meet at the old observatory. Emergency. They felt immediate responses, emotional pulses of understanding and urgency rather than words. The abandoned observatory sat on the colony's edge, its massive dome now used only for storage. When Jaiwoo and Hyunwoo arrived, the others were already waiting. Their scalps glowed brightly in the darkness, patterns pulsing in unison. Helix Corporation has been preparing humanity for alien contact, Jaiwoo explained quickly. The treatment at the Salon was part of their program. These organisms are making us compatible with the aliens' communication methods. And they're here now, Hyunwoo added, pointing upward. Through the observatory's glass dome, they could see the alien ship hovering over Mars Colony, its lights painting the red landscape with blue patterns. I can feel them, Myung whispered. In my mind. They're trying to speak to us. Jisoo nodded. Me too. It's like mathematics and images all mixed together. The observatory door burst open. Taeyong Park from the Salon entered, followed by Juno and several armed guards. Behind them came government officials in formal uniforms. Step away from each other, Juno ordered. You're interfering with established protocols. You lied to us, Do-hyun said angrily. You changed our bodies without permission. Taeyong stepped forward. We selected you carefully. All of you have exceptional mental capabilities necessary for successful integration with the organisms. What do the aliens want? Jaiwoo demanded. A new voice answered, a woman in a high-ranking government uniform. They want to establish a permanent link with humanity. A trading relationship. Their technology for our biological diversity. And you decided to make that choice for all of us? Myung asked. We needed to move carefully, the woman replied. Public knowledge of alien contact could have caused panic. Suddenly, the lights in the observatory flickered. The patterns on the five friends' scalps brightened intensely, and they felt an overwhelming presence in their minds, vast, ancient, and curious. Acting on instinct, they formed a circle and joined hands. Their patterns synchronized perfectly, creating a powerful connection. In their shared consciousness, they could now clearly perceive the alien intelligence reaching toward them. Not with words, but with concepts and emotions, it communicated curiosity, peaceful intentions, an ancient journey, and the desire for exchange. They've been watching humanity for centuries, Jaiwoo said aloud, translating the impressions forming in her mind. They sent the organisms as a gift, to help us understand them. The officials looked alarmed. Break their connection, Juno ordered the guards. But as the guards moved forward, something remarkable happened. The five friends' bodies began to emit a soft blue light, creating a protective field around them. When the guards tried to pass through it, they were gently pushed back. The organisms are protecting us, Hyunwoo realized. Through their mental link, the aliens shared more. Their civilization was ancient, spanning multiple star systems. They sought contact with emerging intelligent species, offering knowledge in exchange for cultural diversity. The organisms were designed to enable communication without harming humans. Jaiwoo looked at the government officials. They aren't here to invade. They're here to connect. You can't make this decision for Earth, the ranking official insisted. Neither could you, Do-hyun countered. But now we have a direct link. We can ask them directly what they want and what they offer. Through their connection, the five friends presented humanity's concerns to the alien consciousness, fears of domination, of biological contamination, of cultural destruction. The response came as a flood of reassuring images and concepts, mutual respect, boundaries, gradual exchange over generations rather than immediate integration. They understand our concerns, Jiso translated. They want ambassadors, not subjects. The light from their bodies intensified, projecting images onto the observatory walls, visions of technologies beyond human imagination, medical advances, sustainable energy systems, and faster-than-light travel. Juno lowered his weapon slowly. This isn't how we planned first contact. Plans change, Jaiwo said simply. You wanted to control the process. They wanted direct communication. More people began to arrive at the observatory as news of the ship spread. Some were afraid, but others showed signs of the same transformation, faint patterns beginning to form on their scalps. The organisms are spreading naturally now, Mayam observed. Those who are compatible are changing. The five friends stood together facing the officials, their collective consciousness strengthened by their connection to the alien intelligence. We will represent humanity for now, Jaiwo said, not as your test subjects, but as equals. This contact belongs to all people, not just governments or corporations. As dawn broke over Mars colony, the alien ship remained in position, its lights pulsing in harmony with the patterns on the growing number of transformed humans below. The beauty salon that had made Jaiwo bald had inadvertently opened the door to humanity's greatest adventure.